continue to help. Because that sort of reads the financial underwriting. You know, you can't allocate resources to help out.
Through Mr. Mayor, no, the financial underwriting is really the underwriting of the event. The point 2 really talks about providing assistance, which is staff assistance and organisational to move it forward, and that could be advice around an appropriate structure or that type of stuff. But that's I think inherent in the wording that spirit of assisting the transition to independence. So it's not designed to be draw a line in the sand and it's tomorrow there's a new dawn and the council has nothing to do with it. It's an 18 under the proposal of councillors McCoy and Ulrich. It's an 18-month transition process.
Okay, so I think it's time that somebody move a recommendation if they would. Councillor Reid.
Can I propose a motion,
yes,
please? The council, and it's different to the recommendation, the council suspend the motorcycle rally for 2026 and establish an appropriate structure to run the motorcycle rally from 2027. Can I speak on that?
Yes.
So I think it's not just about the motorcycle rally. Walcha Council Tourism has always, or for a long time, run a festival of some sort, and I understand we have $20,000 in the budget each year for that and have for a long time. So I don't think it impacts our discussion around the budget as we move into it. And I think we have a really successful start, well, it's not even a start, but we have a really successful festival and we shouldn't just give it away at this stage. I agree that maybe it needs to be moved into the committee's hand, and maybe we will walk away from financing and insuring it. But that's stuff that we can work on in the future. But at this stage, we own that event. And I think if we walk away today with the financing and insurance, the event will fold. I don't think the committee's in a position to say we're going to pick up and run with it. So if we want this motorcycle rally to have any chance of going on into the future, we need to say, yes, we're going to hold on to it for the moment, but let's restructure it in a way that we're all comfortable with, that we don't wear the risk, but that we still can have this event if it's successful. Like, we have a year and a half to work on a structure that councillors are comfortable with. So I just would be really disappointed if we walked away from it today. And I think by voting on the recommendation, that's what we would be doing.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we had this conversation 1 year ago. It was exactly the same conversation. How many more years do we have the conversation? If it's a successful event, we support it. If it isn't, we don't. At some stage, you have to draw a line in the sand with this sort of stuff.
I think I've also got to look at the success a couple of weeks ago of the MP Machinery Rally, which asked us to close the street. And last year, they donated $6,000 back to the community. They made a profit of $6,000 out of their event with no risk to council. They carry their own insurance, they carry all their liabilities and all of that. And I think the point of this recommendation that the General Manager's written here puts this in the same thing. If it is a viable event, it will have no trouble running without council. So, Councillor Reid, you come up with the first motion, recommendation. Do I have a seconder of that? Councillor Ulrich? You wish to speak for it again, Councillor Gregg?
No, thank you.
Councillor Ulrich, second. Do you wish to speak for it?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do think it's probably the best outcome for everybody, for the future of the rally. I'm very, very confident that the motorcycle rally will prosper in the future. And obviously, despite the fact that it was voted upon 12 months ago, as Councillor Houston mentioned, which a majority won the vote that particular day. So council did vote to support it. But in light of the events, which were, no one could foresee that sort of an event happening last year. But in terms of risk going forward, I believe Councillor Gregg's motion is to be seconded.
Anybody else wish to speak against that or ask a question? Councillor McCoy?
Could we just have the motion read again so we understand what it is?
The council suspend the motorcycle rally for 2026 and establish an appropriate structure to run the motorcycle rally from 2027.
Councillor Thompson, you can ask the same question or not?
I was going to ask, but also.
You want to speak it?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I honestly think council should absolve itself of all risk financially and injury wise. And I question how you can claim to have successful motorcycle rallies when you have two very serious accidents with multiple injuries over the last few years, and north of $100,000 loss, I'm going to guess, by the end of Walcha this year, and I think it was a loss again last year. So I think claiming it's such a successful event.
Point of clarification, where's the losses come from? The 100,000? This year there was a loss, but it wasn't 100,000.
I brought that from a $25,000 loss in the report, an extra $5,000 loss cost for counselling, $45,000 loss for staff to run the event, and I've just estimated another $25,000 cost in the ELT working with work cover and other stress-related costs.
Is that correct? I thought the $45,000 staff costs was included in the cost of running the event. I thought that overall the event had a $20,000 loss, so the $5,000 of that $20,000 was cancelling. I understood it was a $20,000 loss.
Currently, we're at $25,000 loss, I believe, with safe work and $20,000 actual loss. We still have a lot of costs that could come in out of this. There is no question about that, and I can't name all of them. You know, there's a grandstand to be repaired. There's the fence to be repaired. All of these things. There's and we don't know where this insurance is going to go. You know, it's a risk that was pointed to us. I'll go over it again. It's a risk that was pointed to us by the ARA committee once they found out council running this, and I think the director Christian would agree that they were a little bit shocked at council. So I'm not asking you to enter that, but I sat in that meeting, councillor Pointing was there. I think they were shocked that council was taking on this risk, and they're the people who we pay a lot of money to each year to guide us on risk.
Can I just say that this motion doesn't preclude us stepping away from all that risk, it just buys some time. So we might decide that, you know, there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for, not IT, but all the emails, what am I looking for? IP, it's the one that, it's worth a lot to anyone, really, and we should maintain that. And maybe it's not a motorcycle rally, maybe we want to run another festival, but this motion just gives us all our options still, and it's certainly not saying that we're going to take on the risk of a motorcycle rally again, but it just buys time to let the motorcycle rally committee make the adjustments they need to, and let council maybe go on and do another festival. It just keeps more options open.
I think we've discussed this enough. There's a motion on the books there. All those in favour? Councillors O'Brien, Ulrich and Greg. All those against? Councillors Noakes, Thompson, McCoy, Houston, Pointing. Motion lost. I will now move the recommendation by the General Manager. Can I have a second to that, please? Councillor Houston. I don't wish to speak for it.
Sorry, just for the sake of the meeting clarity, is the motion that's been moved, there was a motion, I think, moved by Councillors McCoy and Ulrich regarding the date change being to October 2027 on the assumption that no event takes place until 2026.
Okay, and then can we, if you're happy to set us a right with the
I
motion?
am, I'm just, I just want to make sure the meeting is clear on this.
I thought these are great. So that's good.
Yeah, just so you know.
So I'm not, Councillor
So can I stand and move the amended motion as read by the General Manager?
Yes. Happy for that. Councillor Houston, still happy to second that?
No, because it's a different motion now. Can we get clarification? So the 2026 event will absolutely not run, is what I'm hearing from this motion adjustment.
That's my assumption.
If I can help the meeting, yes, mate, the suggested was to to be inserted were that council, on the assumption that no Walcha motorcycle rally will take place in 2026. Discontinue its role of financial underwriting and assuming legal liability for the Walcha motorcycle rally with effect from October 2027. And everything else flows from the same.
You're happy to second that, Councillor?
I am happy to second it. I don't really see the point in changing the date, but, it's ostensibly the same thing, so I'd like to.
Sorry, if council get this motion over, they've told themselves of running an event anyway. So it's not up to you to determine what year it is. It's the legal entity.
I agree with Councillor O'Brien. The way that it's worded currently is fine.
Okay, so
And it in fact does give the option to run the event in 2026 if they desire.
do we feel that the motion worded as it is now is okay? We have a mover.
Well, I do, yes.
Okay. Does anybody wish to speak against it? Anybody else wish to speak for it? Okay, Liv.
Still moving the motion.
Did he still move the motion?
Councillor McCoy, Councillor Houston seconded it.
Yeah, so that's okay.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, so the motion is as per the changed wording that's been put forward.
So, all those in favour?
Can I ask a question,
Oh, sorry,
please?
Councillor.
The, Walcha Motorcycle Rally, Council's rally, has an exit strategy. We don't ignore
This, in your resolution voted on by council overrides any previous resolution that applies to something. So, I guess how we exit that could be by a lot of those points will be followed through, I'd imagine, the notification and all of that.
that. Well, we're not following. So, we're not following it with this resolution, so I just want to be all aware that we're not following the exit strategy that was voted on by previous council.
But by putting up a new resolution, if it overrides that one.
Sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor. There's an assumption there that the motorcycle rally is absolutely not happening if we have an exit strategy, which is not actually the case that we're voting on.
Walcha Council is exiting the motorcycle rally, so we are exiting.
Okay, I'm putting this to the vote. All those in favour? Councillor Ulrich, which you want to say
I
something?
just want to quickly, can we have the whole recommendation read out again so that we know exactly what we're voting on? Please.
The recommendation is that council, on the understanding that a rally for the Walcha motorcycle rally will not take place in 2026. Discontinue its role of financial underwriting and assuming legal liability for the Walcha motorcycle rally with effect from October 2027. Work with the Motorcycle Rally Committee to provide assistance as required in transitioning the event being an transitioning the event to being an independent legal entity, and future involvement with this event be limited to providing traffic management services and promotion through the council's digital media channels.
So the mover and second are happy with that. Right, we have a motion. All those in favour? Councillors Noakes, McCoy, Houston, Ulrich, Pointing. All those against? Councillor O'Brien. Councillor Thompson, you voted for or against?
Against that motion.
Right, Thompson, O'Brien, and the motion carried. Move on to item 7.5, request for Lakeside Road. It's not a public road. This is over to the general manager.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This was a request for a private road to be taken over by the council, and reasons cited were the history of the original subdivision, and the suggestion that perhaps the intent was always maybe that should have been a public road, content the rates paid by the requester, and vehicle movements were also listed as well. As noted in the report, Council is currently challenged with adequately maintaining the roads it has under its control. And with changes likely to emerge through development asset management plan, roads of this nature, which are likely trafficked, may not actually gain much in terms of an uplift in maintenance services due to the need for the council to prioritise resources on road maintenance. So the recommendation is that the council decline the request, and if it was of a mind to entertain the request, I would think it would need to have some good reasons which would protect itself from what would likely to be numerous other requests for similar treatment of other private roads in the district.
I just note that Councillor Thompson left the room at 5. We have a recommendation there. Does somebody want to move the recommendation, or do we wish to debate this or discuss this beforehand?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask a couple of questions.
Yes, Councillor O'Brien.
Look, I don't necessarily agree with the letter and the points raised in it about rates and everything like that. That's not the point here. I think the issue is that we don't have a road service agreement, so we don't understand what our level of service is for roads within our LGA. And I worry by making a decision on this, we set a precedent where we may have other roads that are already serviced. And I might use an example, say like East Lynn Road at the moment. Correct me if I'm wrong, there's only like 2 people on that are serviced by that road. But now we're going to vote against a road that is serviced by, the letter reads that is serviced by 2 people. So I don't believe we're in a position to vote on this because we don't have a document, we don't have a policy that tells us what we can and can't do.
Can I refer to the roads manager on this, because I believe that you have brought something, a starting point with this through was the correct snap. You probably haven't completed it, but I would just like to see this request deferred until that is finished. It falls into the part of every other road and will be assessed along with every other road. And so
yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through the